Welcome back to our second video in this series on developing digital breakouts for the classroom. This video is going to focus entirely on developing your home base for your digital breakout. And for our purposes, we're going to use Google Sites for that. Google Sites is the website generator that Google Drive offers. It's free, perfect price, and it's easy to use. So let's jump into what we're going to do. Now, what you're going to see on the screen here is the PowerPoint that I created. It's in your reference folder, which will give you step-by-step instructions for how to create digital breakouts. We looked at our sample digital breakouts through this PowerPoint as well. Now, my intention is not to go through the PowerPoint slides with you, but rather to show you a real-world creation of a digital breakout. And so I think that would be much more beneficial for you. So as I look forward to my year next year, I know I'm going to be teaching general level juniors. Now, this is the first time I've taught the general level juniors, but it's not the first time I've taught this group of kids. I had them as freshmen. And what I found out right away was that they were going to struggle with reading and analysis skills. And so every task I gave them was hopefully going to bolster their ability to succeed at active reading and active analysis. And digital breakouts are great tools to do that. And now that I have as juniors, I know one of our anchor texts is going to be The Crucible, a great play about the Salem witch trials. Very engaging, but it's also a complex play because while on the surface it's about the witch trials, beneath the surface, it's really Arthur Miller's criticism of McCarthyism. So you have late 17th century America with witchcraft, and you've got mid 20th century America in politics. That's going to be confusing for them to work with. The digital breakout will help set them up for success. Speaking about setting up for success, I want to set you guys up for success with a few organizational tips. The first thing I want to recommend you do is create a Google folder that's going to house all the resources you will use for your digital breakout. Trust me, this is going to make our process a lot easier. As you see in this particular folder, I've got 3 Google Forms. Now, I love using Google Forms because they're quick and easy to create. I can make reading assessments with them. I can make viewing assessments with them. And in particular, you'll see 2 of the 3 are TED-Eds. TED-Ed's a great resource for literary and historical features. They have videos, which are about 4 or 5 minutes in length. They've got critical thinking questions that you can use. And I'm going to use 2 of their videos, and I'm going to use their think questions. Instead of having my kids log into 2 different sites, which I know they're going to lose the passwords to, I'm only going to make them work with my digital breakout website, and then I'll bring those questions in the form of a Google form. It'll just make the system simpler for them. And the other form up here is a vocab pretest, so we can preview the vocab for Act 1. The next document here is my resource page. I have this up in my tab. This is probably the most important document of the whole process. This is your planning document. It's your 1-pager or 2-pager go-to document. Everything's going to be listed here. I have my plan in place, so I know I want to deal with historical background on both the Salem witch trials and McCarthyism. I know that I want them to work with themes like the power of fear or the impact of social hypocrisy through government or through religion. But let's review some good old conflicts as well. Man versus man versus self, man versus society. So these are going to be elements to work with. And on a more practical note, let's preview vocab too. Here are our standards. Everything we do needs to be standards based. You just don't want to jump into an activity for the sake of doing the activity. Last thing I want is an administrator walking into my room saying, "Why are you doing all these games with your kids? What's the point?" I want to be able to have a standards-based response. And so here we're going to be looking at how to cite strong evidence from a text. We're looking at developing multiple themes in a text. And we're going to be looking at the difference between explicit language versus the intended meaning, satire itself, right? Now, honestly, this digital breakout will not address these standards. Reading the text will address these standards. But I know my students are going to have a hard time getting to that level on their own. So the digital breakout is going to plant the seeds for that. So what I'm doing is reverse planning here, right? All good planning should be reverse planning. Know what the end goal that you have in mind is, plan for that. What's the end of course exam? Plan your units to look like that. What's your end of unit assessment? Plan your daily lessons to look like that. I know I'm prepping them. I'm planting the seeds for the crucible. I need to prep them for that. Underneath that, I have all my resources I'm going to use. My TED-Ed videos, I got YouTube links to them. These form links you saw before in my folder are basically Google Forms of their think questions. So I'm using their work just on my website. And then I have lot codes. We'll talk about those in the next video, and you see some clues with that. Same thing with Salem witch trials. Down here for theme introduction, I've got a puzzle generator. Jigsaw Planet is a great online puzzle generator, and it works through our firewall. Any kind of outside sources you bring in, any kind of multimedia you want to bring in, just double check that they can pass through your firewall. Otherwise, you're going to have some problems running your digital breakout. And then I know that my students did really well as freshmen using Quizlet. They really liked Quizlets. And so I've got a Quizlet on their vocab preview work, which is not going to necessarily be part of the digital breakout, but we'll use later. I want to use the pretest to see how many of these words they already know, however. Then we got a word cloud on conflict, and we got a photo collage. I love using imagery from the text, using cover art, using art inspired by texts. If you watched a previous video on using cover art that I created, this will be familiar. And so we've got cover art, we've got art inspired by the Salem witch trials, photography of the Salem witch trial memorial. So I created a collage with that. Can't remember which collage generator I made or I used, but Google that, you'll find some good ones. And so these are going to be all the resources we're going to use. Well, so what we need to do now is create the home base itself. So let's go back to our folder, and we're going to use Google Sites for this. So click New. Click New. Click More, because Google Sites is not one of their main tools. Click More. About halfway down, you'll see Google Sites. And in a couple seconds here, we're going to have our website generated. Give it a quick title. The Crucible. Let's spell that correctly, shall we? Excuse me. You'll notice in this text box, you've got your word processing tools. Let's go ahead and bold it for fun. I'm going to copy that title and place it up here. My students are always submitting Google Docs without titles. That's just a problem, right? The other thing I like to do right away, let's move my head out of the way, is take care of some visual components. I like to play with the themes, color schemes, that sort of a thing. Over on the editing panel on the right, you'll see one of your options is themes. So just preset, just like in PowerPoint. Choose something you like. I'll go with this impression one that looks nice and bold. All right, so now I'm ready to start putting material together. If you remember from watching our anatomy of a digital breakout, there were three major components to any good digital breakout. One, you had to have a scenario that framed the direction of the activity. Two, you had to have the multimedia components that your students were going to work on. And three, you had to have the lock codes, which were basically the keys and combinations for them to get out of the room, right? Well, we're going to do lock codes in the next video. This video, we're going to look at the other two components, the scenario and your multimedia tools. And so what that's going to require us to do is basically insert material into our website. When I work with multimedia tools in my teachers, I always tell them if they can say it, they can do it. I need to insert something. All right, well, let's go to our editing panel and let's see if there's anything there that can help us. Oh, insert. Sure enough, everything we're going to need is going to be right under that heading. And you'll see we've got four basic things that we're able to insert. Text boxes. We can embed video. This is going to be helpful with our YouTube. We can bring in images from the web or from our computer, and we can pull directly out of our Google Drive. So this is one place where we can access our insert tools. The other way we can access our insert tools is by using the canvas. This is the white space on our website. By double clicking it, you're going to get an editing tool. And these have the exact same functions as we have over here. With the one addition, the green one is to upload directly from the computer. I'm going to show you how to do all of these inserts in the next couple of minutes. So let's start with our first one. We need a scenario. That requires a text box. Simply click Insert Text Box. I can do it over here, or I can do it from the wheel. Now you just type. This is just a word processing issue, right? So type scenario here. I'll come back later and actually put one in, but for now, you've got the point. That's pretty simple. Now we need to start bringing in our multimedia. Again, I'm going to be inserting for that. So I like to use my editing wheel, so I'll double click in the canvas. I'm going to put the videos in, because remember the first elements were the historical components, right? That's going to use my embed tool. So let's go back to my reference page. Remember, on this page that I created for myself, I had all my YouTube links here. So I've got my McCarthyism and my witch trials. Well, the witch trials came first, so let's go ahead and put those in. So copy your link, go back to your Crucible digital breakout page. In our editing wheel, we have those yellow arrows. Those are our brackets for embedding codes. It's going to request a URL. Just put it in. It'll process it. It'll give you a quick preview. And when you're ready, you click insert. Simple as that. That's not too tough. Now remember, with those TED Ed videos, they have those questions, those think questions that they incorporate. They make sure kids are understanding the content of the video. And I made those into Google Forms. And so I want to have those embedded in here as well. I want my students to work with those questions. It's a way for me to check that they've actually watched the video. So I'm going to insert, but now I know this is coming from Google Drive. So I'm going to use the Drive function. Again, you have it over here as well. I'm going to click on the Google Drive. You'll see in my editing panel, it's going to bring up all my folders in my Google Drive. I'll go to my digital breakout. I'll go to my Crucible. And this is the Salem Witch Trial questions, so I'll click on that. And boom, we've just brought something in from our Google Drive. Now, the one thing I don't like about this is just me being picky. The video and the form aren't aligned. So you can move any of these objects that are on your canvas. I can move the video over here if I want. I can center it if I want. I can resize it if I want. That's all up to you. I can do the same thing with this form. So I can move it around as well. If you don't like something you've done, you do have an undo button up here, just like in your word processor. But what I'm going to do is grab this. You know you've grabbed it when you have the cross arrows that appear. And I'm going to attach it right underneath the video. And you know it'll attach. You see how that blue bar just connects to the bottom of the video? We know we're hooked up to the video now. And so you can see what will happen with that. It's perfectly aligned. I just like the way that looks better. Okay, so let's bring in some other ideas. Remember that photo collage that I created? Well, let's go ahead and put that right here. Now that's on my computer. So I'm going to use the upload function here. So I'm going to upload. Let's move my head out of the way. And I called that the Crucible. Here we go. That's the picture I want. All right. Let's go ahead and resize it to fit this space a little bit better. Perfect. Oh, that works. Now, one thing I want to point out to you, you notice when I have the picture highlighted here, I've got some options to edit that picture. One of those options is a link. Now, while I like these pictures, and I think these pictures can be really thought-provoking in and of themselves, I'm actually going to make this picture do double duty. I'm going to turn it into a hyperlink. So what's on the surface is important, but then clicking on it will be important as well. So let me show you the way to turn any of your objects that are on your website into a hyperlink. I made a puzzle using that jigsaw puzzle generator. So let's copy that link. Again, it's on my reference page. Go back into my digital breakout. My picture is still highlighted. Make sure you don't change your objects. Click the link, paste, and apply. Now this object, this photo collage, has been turned into a hyperlink. All right, so I've showed you how to create the Google site. I showed you how to add a text, how to embed a video, how to pull an object in from your Google Drive, how to upload a visual from your computer, and then how to turn any of these objects into a hyperlink. It's not that challenging. It's just, thinking about the process and having a plan in place. The last thing I want to show you is how to preview this. Let me move my head out of the way here. To preview it, click on the little computer icon in the taskbar. This will show you exactly what the students are going to see. So you can see how the video is going to play. You can see if your hyperlink works. Here's the puzzle that they're going to build. Okay, it'll look like this. So there's our hypocrisy theme, right? You can interact with the form. So everything is functional. And the last thing you can do is actually see what this would look like on a smartphone or a tablet. So as we do remote learning, that might be important because you might need to rearrange the order of these objects to fit better on those screens. All right, thanks for watching, and I hope this helped. Take care.